Hi, my name is Caleb Lindsay. This is going to be my week 2 submission for FTH 202. And today's date is January 24th, 2026. Before we begin, we'll go ahead and make sure the firearm is clear. I already have the cylinder open, and then nothing inside of that cylinder. Yeah, it is completely empty. I already got the grip and the hardware off. Next, it asks to demonstrate the proper method of removing the side plate, just based off of what was in the lecture. It said, don't try to pry this side plate off or anything like that. What it tells us is we can use the handle of our hammer striking the just like the grip right here, and it's going to pop off. So we'll see. Yep, there it goes. All right, side plate off. All right, so this is all of the components at rest inside of the firearm. And next, I'll be going through a couple of components, talking about their significant roles in the cycle of operations, and then we'll move on from there. So real quick, I did 3 components that I found interesting. One, because I work on 1911s and 2011s, and mainspring makes sense to me. And the other ones are kind of revolver specific. Okay, so the 3 things that I want to talk about. So revolver specifically is right here is the hand. Okay, so the hand has a direct role in chambering and locking. It also has an indirect role in cocking. All right. And this is only, as far as I can tell, this is only found in revolver style pistols. The other one that's kind of exclusive to revolver style pistols is right here. You've got our cylinder, and this thing is like the hub that it seems like almost everything kind of works around, sort of. So because it has a direct role in in like feeding, chambering, locking, unlocking, extracting, and ejecting. Okay, so almost all of the cycle of operations, like portions, are kind of involved in this cylinder. And then before I forget, it also has a indirect role in cocking. Okay, and then the one that I thought that I'm kind of comfortable with because of my previous work, I guess, would be like the mainspring right here. And I'm also going to be doing like the trigger spring, okay, this other spring right here. So mainspring, trigger spring, they're both they both have a direct role in firing and cocking, right? Well, especially this being a double action. All right, so next I'm going to try my best to get through the cycle of operations without dropping like my firing pin and my cylinder out of this. So first things first, like feeding, right? So feeding would just be us manually. Oh my goodness, I'm going to drop everything out of this. It's going to be us manually feeding our cartridges into our cylinder, right? So then kind of locking is just going to be us rotating that cylinder into the frame, and then it's going to lock. Oh goodness, come on. Into the appropriate cylinder stop notch. Okay, so this one would be one further down. Excuse me. And then with a double action, the trigger pull is going to do a couple of different things. Okay, so chambering is just going to be, maybe it'd be easier if I do this with the hammer for chambering. Okay, so chambering is going to be us bringing all this back, rotating the cylinder with the hand, and the hammer spring and trigger spring all kind of working together with the resistance. I'm trying really hard to get my fingers out of this. So it's going to rotate that cylinder until it gets to right about there. Okay, so right there. And then in double action, this would just keep going because I'm already releasing or moving the trigger past the sear. And it's just going to keep going. So chambering would be rotating the cylinder into the appropriate notch so it's lined up with the barrel. And then, I guess that'd be cocking as well. So the hammer would be all the way back. Okay, so there's rotating again. Locked. We're cocked. Firing. We're going to be pulling the trigger, releasing the tension or pressure that is built up right now in our mainspring. sending the hammer forward. Turn this smoothly. There we go. And then hammer is going to go into, oh man, there we go. Hammer is going to go into our transfer bar. Transfer bar goes into the firing pin, hitting the primer on the cartridge, firing the cartridge. So that's pretty much everything except for extracting. Extracting. Let me see if I can get this out again. Is also going to be a manual. We're gonna have to do that manually with revolvers. Okay, so extracting on this one would just be pushing down on the extraction rod, and just it pushes all the cartridges out, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so in the third part of our assignment, we've basically removed everything until we've gotten to just the hammer. So I'm gonna try to point this out through the camera. So we got our hammer, the hand and transfer bar. So it's going to be the hand right here. Transfer bar is this top silver part right here. The trigger, which is this guy, and then our cylinder lock, which is right here. All right, the last part of this assignment is just to show the stripped frame. The only thing that's still on there would be like the barrel, the sights. Everything else is completely taken apart and out of there. I left the cylinder together, and I left all of like my trigger spring and my my hammer spring. I left that all still together, but everything else is completely removed, and we've got a stripped frame. So that'll be the end of this week's assignment. I'll go ahead and put this back together.